There's three elemental pillars that are part and parcel of our program for CrossFit Kids and make it unique. And the first part is nothing more than fun. It is imperative that you pair fitness with fun. Has to happen. CrossFit is a broad, inclusive, and general fitness program. So let's take that and make it an acronym. I want you to have big fun. Fun has to happen. It has to happen. In fact, I'll dare say, if your child, whatever, one, too many, all of them, if they do not have fun, you have ruined them for life. If they look at CrossFit as, yeah, that's the thing that kind of sucks and really hurts, you ruin it for life. They're not going to go back to that thing that really sucks and hurts. They want to do something that's fun. So there's a unique conundrum that we all understand intuitively. Let's talk about it, though. The fact that fun changes over time. It changes. What's fun to preschool and kid and teen are all different things. For preschool and young kids, because that kid, that age 5 to 12, that's a big group of a totally different size and emotional capacity, ability, mental capacity. That's a huge gradient. So preschool and young kids, the fun is being around their friends and playing the game. That's fun. So at all costs, we don't separate kids, right? Preschool and kids, we don't separate them from their friends. And we have to get to the game. I don't care how awesome your plan was to make that squat magic in the forest and get your shoulder press, and this is the best program ever done. If they're not having fun, if they're not getting into it, if they're bored by skip it, it's time for the game. And if they're not enjoying the game, make another game. A good theme for you with teaching children, I want you to end whatever it is that you're doing before it's done. Even if it's the game. If you see a child and you're playing, let's say soccer, you're playing I play lots of forms of soccer and like hand soccer and animal soccer and all kinds of different types of soccer with the kiddos in the game. Sometimes use a hand, sometimes animal walks, all kinds of different stuff. If I see even one child like, oh, okay, I've lost them. I know I've got them, and how I want you, here's your litmus for you know if you're doing the right thing on breaking your times and breaking your workouts. If you hear the, aw, if you hear that from your children, yes, because they're excited to come back. If they're like, sweet Jesus, thank you, time, like, you've lost them because that's not fun. For middle to old kids and teens, the fun is not the gain. The fun is then getting closer to pulling and pushing more weight in less time and being around your friends. So there's a difference of what fun is, but we have to make sure our kids are having fun. Number 2, quality of movement. Quality of movement is paramount, folks. Fun is number 1. That's the elemental, has to happen. Quality of movement is right there behind it. We are movement coaches, movement teachers. We're training children how to move so that we can embed these movement patterns for life. Children don't get stronger for the most part the way that we get stronger. Breakdown of muscle tissue builds up stronger, hypertrophy, that type of stuff. That's how we get stronger. Children get stronger by building muscle to brain connection, their ability to get their body to push and pull in the right way, getting more motor units to fire. That's how children get stronger. It's a technique issue. We're welding in their bodies how to move properly, and we do that for a whole long time so that when testosterone and growth hormone starts to hit their body, they explode into the stratosphere because they already have embedded how to do these movements. We're movement coaches. There's an interesting thing, though. We all have felt this with our adult athletes for 2 of them, but there's a third. There's 3 things that make this interesting. The first is the ego of the coach. We have ego? Us. We all want to do those amazing things that we talk about. We want to potentiate our children. We want them jumping, pulling, running, getting college scholarships. We want them to do this stuff. So we have in ourselves an ego to put more weight, to go longer, faster, harder, do more, get one more. Relax. Relax. We have them for years. Years. Don't be so ready to load their bodies with anything other than perfect movement. The next part of ego is the child. Don't fool yourself for a second. The children are happy with a younger boy, a 7-year-old boy, picking up a 1-pound kettlebell and the 10-year-old girl picking up a 5-pound kettlebell. Don't fool yourself for a second that boy is okay with that. That boy and that girl want to pick up more weight because they're human beings. They want to do more. Make it the cool thing in your class to move better, not move more. Do you see the difference? Applaud what it is that you want them to do. Don't be hard on what you don't want them to do. Do you see the difference psychologically? Awesome job, you're moving beautifully. I don't care if it's the least or the most or somewhere in the middle weight or no weight at all. It's not awesome. Look at Billy, he's got a 10-pound kettlebell. Absolutely not, because that's making the cool thing lifting more weight. I don't want that. I want to move better. These both, though, for the trainers in the crowd, you understand that replace child with adult, same thing. Like you're dealing with your ego to go faster, harder, and you're dealing with their ego of like, no, I'm all set, I don't need to scale. Oh, okay, right? We get that. Here is the unique part to this scenario. When you're training children, you have to deal with the ego of their parent. Parents. And oh boy, was I shocked when this first happened. I've been training children and teens for several years now, but I started my first CrossFit Kids class. Like this is the bang, CrossFit Kids class. I'm doing it just like the Martins say. This is what I recommend you guys, the stuff that we're gonna pass. I know this stuff works. First day, had my kids, had about 8 of them. Totally stoked. Things, stuff here, there, butterflies, all kind of like things just going nuts, right? It's all, I'm in the tunnel, and time, yay, happiness. Kids are stoked, they run off, glee, it's all awesome. I don't even know what happened. I'm like, oh, well, okay, that was fun, that was great. I look over and in the corner of my eye, I see one of the moms. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Right? Because one of my resounding themes for the parents is I'm an open book. Like part of my welcome letter to them is thank you. It's a privilege to have this opportunity. And if you have any questions, problems, comments, concerns, anything, you let me know and we'll talk about it. I want to know. And so she's sitting like this. Like, this is gonna be awesome. Hey moms, how are we doing? Happy? Todd, do you have a second? Yep. And you know that like nothing good comes from that opening. Right? Do you have a second? For you, I've got 5. Let's do this. Like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So she takes me aside and she says, you know, Todd, she had 3 kids in my class at the time. They were super studs, 3 boys, and she had the youngest was her daughter who was 2, who was excited to join the class. So the boys were 10, 8, 6. Like bang, bang, bang. And they're all studs, like just genetic, but fantastic movers, hardworking, come from a great family, so they listen very well. You know, Todd, my oldest 2 are in football. In the back of my mind, I'm like, awesome. But, you know, I can't say that to her. So I'm like, yes, sure. And I know where she's going with this. I know exactly where. It's the same thing adults come to you with. Like, I get it. She's saying, how the heck can you get a workout in 30 minutes when you just spend some time doing this, some time doing this, you do a little quick workout, and then you have a game? How is that getting my child prepared for better at football? All right? That's what she's saying. She just didn't put it in those terms. Here's the trouble, guys. First, you can't sell CrossFit to anybody. And I hope this isn't a shocker to you now. You can't sell CrossFit to anybody because it hurts, right? And you certainly can't sell CrossFit Kids to anybody, especially when the parents are not CrossFitters. Because I can tell with a CrossFit crowd in here, is anybody confused how you can get a workout in 3 minutes? Those are the worst ones. Tell me we got a 20-minute workout, I'm like, it's on. Like maybe a couple reps and then stretch it out, chalk up, right? If you tell me, Todd, we got a 3-minute workout. oh dear Jesus. Like, oh, okay, time out. Oh, geez, and like I got some shivers and like, I feel woozy. Like, okay, right? Because they're the worst. Right? It's like did you just say, we have an F word and it ain't the one that everybody else thinks F word. It's Fran, right? It's like, oh my God, woo, turn pale. Somebody that's not a CrossFitter doesn't understand how 3 minutes can be a workout. So they look out and they see their kids jumping around, having fun, doing their thing for 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, and they're like, where's the workout? For the CrossFit crowd, they're like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. How you answer, how you deal with this, it's going to be different for each and every parent. Each and every parent. Parents bring their children to you to have measurable, observable, repeatable data, getting stronger, faster, better each and every week. What your job is as a CrossFit Kids trainer is to not only with the child, but convey to that parent in their own unique ways how your job is to create better movers. Because as you well know, give me 2 seconds, brother, because as you well know, how technique and intensity work, I cannot reach that intensity. I cannot reach that capacity in life without the technique. So what we're doing is creating perfect technique, and that's a relative term, perfect technique with our children, and then we're adding the intensity, and they're going to get way stronger, way faster, way better on the long scale. And that's really, really hard for parents to see when they come to you. Third thing up here, we got 3 pillars: fun, quality of movement. Let's talk about the CrossFit Kids prescription. Our prescription for CrossFit Kids, because it is a pilot program for CrossFit, it is the same as CrossFit. That is constantly varied, functional movement, executed at high intensity. Same stuff. That's our prescription. Constant variance, because it's fun, it's always different for the kids. Also because the stimulus and adaptation that the children have from that, for all the same reasons we do constant variance. It's amazing. What it creates is unparalleled. It's unbelievable. Functional movements, because of all the stuff we've talked about, natural, essential, safe, compound, yet irresistible, all those beautiful words, but most importantly, because of their ability to produce power. Functional movements are unbelievably unique in their ability to produce power. We want them to produce as much power as possible. Which brings us into the realm of intensity. Intensity gives us the adaptation to exercise that we want. Here's the catch. In CrossFit, guys, help me out with this. In CrossFit, we have a charter. Have a charter for helping inoculate people to the problems and potential dangers of intensity. What's our charter? You guys remember? Absolutely. Mechanics, consistency, then and only then intensity. Thanks, Kev. Mechanics, consistency, then and only then intensity. You guys remember that? MCI? MCI for adults. Mechanics, consistency, intensity. About 2 weeks, right? Think about your client. About 2 weeks before, okay, they're moving okay. We can start, hey, go a little harder, maybe go a little bit more weight. If they're elderly, obese, injured, maybe a month. If they're an elite athlete, like they're coming from college wrestling yesterday, go harder. Like the MCI is go harder. But about 2 weeks. For our children, depending on what age you get them, but let's go all the way back to like preschool, you have years. Years, potentially 4, 5, 6, 7 years of the mechanics, consistency, then and only then intensity. It's the same charter, the timeline's different. You see how in our minds, it's mechanics, consistency, intensity, in a couple weeks we'll be going fast and hard. For adults, that's great. For children, do less better. We're not trying to load them up. We're not trying to get them to go fast and hard. We're trying to get them to move better for years, to weld in those motor patterns, so that when they are ready and want to go fast and harder, that is when it is fun for them, that they do so. And until then, let's have fun and let's play games.